Hey everyone, Kestrel here. Welcome to today's live stream. All right, so the inner part of his eyelid, goes like that. We're going to draw the lower edge of his eyelid, right along here. And then the upper part will be under some fur, but we do need to draw it in for now. And that's got a lump in it, so let's bump that into shape. Back like that. Okay, so there's Revan's eyelid. And now we need the pupil. So remember what I said in the video this month, that a dilated pupil is cute. Well, Revan's pupil is not dilated. In fact, he's kind of squinting in this photo. His pupil is like this big. We're going to make his pupil bigger. We're going to take some artistic license and give him a bigger pupil because we want a cute puppy eyeball. Question from my mom in the chat. Hi, Mom. How do you know how big to make the pupil when you're not doing what the photo shows? Can you run the risk of making the pupil too big, like a Puss in Boots character? The video that I released earlier this month for my aeronauts and my aeronaval architects, but I actually used Puss in Boots as an example. So having that super, super dilated eye is what really gives cuteness to our pet eyes. So what I did was not unnatural. He doesn't look like he was on drugs. You know, this could be possible. I think anytime you're going to the edge of a spectrum, regardless of what the topic is, you run the risk of someone saying, yeah, that looks a little bit fake. So I think as long as if you want to take creative license and emphasize, like over dilate your own pet's pupils, just don't go too far and it's going to look fine. You'll achieve your goal without going overboard. Let's do some more highlight. The highlight kind of comes around the side of the nose. And because I can't rotate my iPad because it needs to be lined up for the camera, I'm having to compensate by really turning my drawing so that I can draw accurately. All right, we're gonna do lots of highlight right along here. See, this is what Portrait Painter is great for. Making some clear definition between the highlight, the midtone, and the shadow. This is such a big help for drawing fur. Drew a solid line right along here, but I'm actually gonna continue the highlight from that section. Whether this part ends up being its own piece or combined with that one that I just drew, I don't know yet. Okay, and I do need to fix up this section right along here. Gosh, I love this nudge tool so much. Makes it really nice. So let's switch to Adobe Illustrator. Y'all remember what step number 1 is? You open the SVG and you do what? Simplify. We need to remove points and simplify. Let it work its magic. Okay, we've removed 10,000 points. This is why it's so important to do this. We said we needed 4 values of white, so that means we're going to need a nice dark blue, but not that blue. So now here's another trick. This is like advanced stuff right now. This next thing I'm going to show you. We're going to talk about blend options. Here's a trick to seeing your grayscale values in Illustrator in real time. Okay, so do you see how I'm dragging this rectangle around Revan and it's removing all, like look at his tongue right there. See how it's removing the pink of his tongue? Look what happens if I drag it over our gradient. That was pretty good, actually. I did a pretty good job eyeballing that. The number 3 needs to be a wee bit darker. The reason I pulled it out right now is to make sure that I was correctly matching the values of the original tongue gradient when I made the tongue a lot pinker. Let's start with his nose. So we've got light blue, highlight, 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 I love this step. It's so much fun. Midtone, shadow, shadow. All right, let's see if I remember about the whites. So we've got highlight, 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 highlight. All right, let's do the number 2. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, so that's 4, and I know that this is 4 over here. Let me grab that 3. We got 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. I think these are 3, and that's probably 3 as well. It's pretty good. I'm gonna leave his pupils the way they are for now, and I think he looks like he's looking at in the correct place. Anyway, that's where we're gonna leave Revan for today. Let me open up Brementown Musicians, and here we are. And what I have right now to add in is the dog on the donkey's back. Now we should be good, finally, to add some color. I can't quite see. I gotta zoom in. So let me just add these so that I can color pick, and then we'll zoom in. All right. Now, I know that this part of his tongue is in shadow. I think it was like this, if I remember correctly. I'm like trying to remember what I did. Oh, it's always tricky with the more complicated pictures. Yeah, that seems right. And then these, I think, are highlights. Okay. Does it work to draw the numbers in concepts and have it transfer over to AI? If by numbers you mean like drawing the indicated, like the number 1 fabric here, the number 2 fabric here, number 3 fabric here, you definitely could do that. You could draw that in concepts and have it transfer over to Illustrator. The problem is you would then need to go and delete all of those. So what I would recommend doing, just for your own convenience, is draw those numbers on their own layer so that you can then easily select them all at the same time and delete them, because you don't want to cut those. Those numbers will come in as vector lines. You don't want them as part of your drawing, but if that's an easier way for you to remember what goes where, by all means do it. Just put all of those numbers on their own layer. And then, yeah, they would come with your drawing into Illustrator. Why is that not working there? It's part of the live paint group. It's overlapped. These are connected. Well, that's a mystery. I don't know why those aren't. That's supposed to be a separate area right in there. Comforting to know that stuff doesn't work for me too. Yep, it happens to all of us. This is driving me nuts though. Like, I have no idea why this should work. Oh, wait. I'll bet I know. Okay, here's why it's not working. You ready? It would need to be, it's a closed group, or rather, it's not a closed group. This line coming down the side of his face is open. So watch my cursor now. So I'm taking this paint bucket, and where we would fill all of this area, just like that. Come back down and around, and whoop, now we're filled up the other side. That's why it's not working. It's not a closed area. Let's try this again. Okay, I will probably draw nicer lines in concepts, but I want to be able to add color right now. Okay, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking. All right, let's get his face finished up here, and then we'll call it quits for the day. So now we can do number 2 right there. Yes, that was the problem. All right, let's just remove his lines and see. Oh wait, I think these are white down here. All right, let's remove his lines and see how we did with his face. And I'm gonna move him behind the window. All right, no more outlines for the dog. There's his face. So we will, he's just a floating head right now. We will get his body put in there, but that's our dog. He looks pretty good. He looks like he's looking down at that soup, which again was the intention.